All right. Great day today. Excuse me. Had some watermelon. Today is Thursday, June 7th, I think. Haven't been paying much attention to the dates. It's gloomy weather still again here in Carlsbad. I am driving to the gym, but I wanted to do my vlog here today. Did not want to miss that. Set up my new computer. That's exciting. It's a huge, huge screen, 27-inch iMac Pro. Looks amazing. So pumped for that. All right, three things. So I wanted to talk about, which is decide who you want to be and what you want to experience, and life will support you. Hold that vision and energy daily, and life will reflect that back to you. It's the law. That's how it's done. Two is talk a little bit about scripting, storyboarding, kind of what I do for our videos. I'm just kind of like so unorthodox way of doing it, non-traditional. I didn't go to film school or anything like that. In fact, I haven't even researched how to storyboard properly, but it works for me, and people like what we produce. So it might get easier. It does get easier every time. I'm creating this flow. I'm creating this understanding of what I'm envisioning and how I take it from my brain to paper. And last thing about business is follow your intuition. Trust it. It will never fail. It will never fail you. All right, so first things first. I think the times where I'm struggling the most, I think emotionally and with my energy, is when I do not make a decision. Like if I have not made a decision about what I want to talk about, which is if I haven't made a decision about who I want to be in any particular situation or day or week or whatever month, if I'm not certain about that, then I struggle. If I'm not certain about the decision I want to make regarding what I want to experience in life, then there is a discord between who you really are meant to be, and your ego pulling you away from that, telling you you can't, telling you you shouldn't, telling you it's scary. So that was something that I was thinking about today when I was working, and kind of that was my theme for the day. And so far so good. Almost to the gym, so I kind of going to try to make it quick. It's about 6:30 p.m. Obviously, I usually get to the gym at like 5:30 in the morning, but didn't make it out. We were supposed to film, and there's a few things that I needed to do before we actually went out and filmed. So I took the morning to do that. We didn't film, but then I went into my day just because that's the normal flow, and I kept jamming away, flowing with my workflow. Anyway, so scripting and storyboarding. The way I do it is I have Carrie, my wife, she creates like a narrative about the property or the client or the brand or whatever, and it's not even so much about using that narrative to create a voiceover, but it's using that narrative as a story that then we make sure the client says, yeah, that encompasses everything I want to touch on. I feel like it makes sense. I feel like it conveys who I am. It communicates effectively what I want to my clients, to my audience. Once I do that, then I break that apart. But what's interesting, I think, is I find music that I'm like, okay, this seems really cool, and then I see where how that music then starts to reveal the narrative visually in my head. Does that make sense? So I listen to music until I find some really nice ones, song selections that I really like, and then I listen to them over and over and allow the story, the narrative, to reveal to me basically the visuals, like what I think we should show, how we should shoot the shots, and so on. And then just try to keep those shots consistent and kind of flowing in a similar direction or pattern. And so that's kind of my flow. I'm interested to hear what you guys do. If you do video production, if you do videos, and if you don't, you probably should, even on your iPhone, just because every business, I think, at this point, should be doing some sort of video. And if you're not, you are kind of behind on what's happening. Really should consider doing video, even if it's not professional. It doesn't matter. I honestly think it's better than nothing. Of course, if you're super boring and stuff like that, then you can't. Just kidding. Of course you should. I mean, everybody. I'm going to change the settings real quick. A little brighter. Everybody should be doing it. I think you're going to reach audiences, and you might not. You might feel like you're boring. I think sometimes I feel like I'm boring, but like I just remember it's a process, and over time you start to really develop yourself as a person on camera. Because a lot of times people don't even know that they have to develop themselves on camera, because you just can't go from. Well, I guess you can. It's just not everybody's that way. Like not everybody can go from like who they are and then straight into camera mode. Like you can't. Some people can, and like that's great. I think you have an edge. But then the person who can't might have an edge with a different angle than you might. So everybody has their strengths, and I think you got to play on your strengths. Okay, so that's my thought on that. And anyway, what was I talking about? I think that was number 2. All right, so the last thing about business. One thing I'm finding out is trusting myself, trusting my intuition, and realizing it never fails me. I think the way I grew up, the way I experienced what I was taught was more reliant on external forces. So something outside of yourself, and rather than turning within and trusting your gut, your intuition. So for me, it's something, a new learning process, and a new learning thing, something I had to learn. Trusting myself, specifically, obviously, my intuition. Every time I've had a hunch, every time I've had a good feeling about somebody or what I needed to do, it always proved correct. So I think you really have to understand who you are and allow your intuition, the voice within you, to be loud enough in your head. I think a lot of times we got so much going on in our brains and our minds that we don't, take the time. Like I need to meditate. Otherwise my brain just goes full blast mode, like too much. And I end up doing poorly in terms of like making decisions. But if I take time to meditate, pull back, clear my brain, clear my mind, then I'm able to think more effectively, because I think I balance out my mind with my intuition. But ultimately, my intuition always trumps. I always go with my intuition versus going with over-analyzing, over-rationalizing. So anyway, that's my thought on that. I'm sure you agree with me if you've done your fair share of making decisions. If you go with your gut, always proves well. All right, I hope that was helpful. Those are just some of the things that I'm going through today, kind of my themes, something on my mind in terms of video production type stuff, equipment, all that stuff. And then number 3 is kind of like entrepreneurial talk. And anyway, I enjoyed talking about that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to comment below, and this will develop and evolve over time. So thanks for your patience as we define what we do on a regular basis here on this daily vlog. All right, have a good day. Talk to you soon, guys. Maybe.